think for a moment. What's the most valuable asset you own? Money? A house? A car? No. The real wealth is your ability to move, your strength to grip, your power to stand tall. And all of that rests on one foundation, your muscles and your joints. But time quietly steals that strength away. Muscles start to shrink, joints begin to ache, and we tell ourselves that's just part of getting older. Here's the truth. It doesn't have to be that way. Today, I'm going to share something simple. You can start in your own kitchen, an addition to your daily soup that sends a clear signal to your body. We're not getting weaker. This isn't some magic powder or an expensive tonic. It's a blend of everyday ingredients, backed by science and real-world results, that can wake up your muscles, support your joints, and help you age with strength and confidence. Core highlights: add the kind of protein to your soup that signals muscle growth. Strengthen your body's framework with collagen and vitamin C. Use collagen peptides to improve movement and reduce discomfort. Calm inflammation and boost workout benefits with omega-3s. Use creatine to power up everyday tasks. Add turmeric for both flavor and joint comfort. Strong and inspiring ending a bowl of soup. It may seem simple, but starting today, it can become your daily therapy. When you add protein, your muscles get the message: build me, strengthen me. When you mix in collagen and vitamin C, your joints breathe a sigh of relief and say, we're getting stronger again. When you add omega-3s and creatine, every step and every movement feels lighter and more confident. And when you season with turmeric, you're not just adding flavor, you're adding a touch of healing. Now think about this. If one bowl of soup can make your tomorrow stronger, why not take that first step today? This isn't just a recipe, it's a promise to your body, to your life, and to your future. Because true wealth is being able to live life on your own terms. If you'd like, I can now take this version and turn it into a full YouTube voice-over script with pacing, camera shot suggestions, and visual cues so it flows like a professional health video and keeps viewers hooked until the very end. When we talk about muscle growth, especially as we age, there's one principle that often gets overlooked, and it's not just about how much protein you eat in a day, but how you deliver it to your body in a way that actually triggers muscle building. You see, muscles are remarkably intelligent tissues. They're constantly listening to the biochemical conversations happening in your bloodstream. And one of the loudest signals they can hear comes from a very specific pattern of amino acids, the building blocks of protein entering your system in a high enough dose, all at once, to flip on the switch we call muscle protein synthesis. This isn't just theory, it's well-documented physiology. The key here is something called the activation dose. For most older adults, that means you're looking at about 25 to 35 grams of high-quality protein in a single meal, and not just any protein. It needs to be rich in leucine, an essential amino acid that acts almost like the ignition key in the engine of muscle building. Now, here's where this becomes incredibly practical. Many people think of soup as comfort food, light, warm, easy to digest, but they don't think of it as a muscle-building tool. And yet, with the right additions, your daily soup can become a targeted delivery system for exactly the protein dose your muscles need. Imagine starting with a base of chicken thigh, turkey breast, beef shank, lentils, or tofu. Each of these brings a solid protein foundation. But here's the important part. That base often isn't enough to hit the activation threshold. That's why I suggest deliberately topping up your soup. Add shredded chicken, cubes of tofu, or even whisk in strained Greek yogurt toward the end of cooking for a creamy texture and an extra protein boost. You could also sprinkle in a generous amount of grated Parmesan or stir in edamame, plant-based protein that's surprisingly rich in leucine. One of the mistakes I see is people spreading small amounts of protein throughout the day, a little here, a little there, but never enough at once to actually stimulate muscle growth. That's like sending tiny sparks to a light bulb but never enough voltage to make it shine. What your muscles respond to is a strong, distinct signal. So, when you're building your soup, think of it not just in terms of flavor and comfort, but as a strategic opportunity to send that signal loud and clear. And remember, the goal is quality and quantity together. Animal proteins like poultry, beef, fish, eggs, and dairy are naturally high in leucine, but if you prefer plant proteins, you can combine sources, for example, lentils with quinoa, or tofu with edamame to get a complete amino acid profile and still hit that leucine target. This is especially important after the age of 40, when our muscles become a little less sensitive to those anabolic signals. That's why older adults often need slightly more protein per meal than younger people to get the same muscle building effect. Think of it as speaking louder to be heard over background noise. If you're recovering from illness, surgery, or even just the natural wear and tear of daily life, hitting that activation dose becomes even more critical. It's not just about avoiding sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle. It's about actively building resilience so you can climb stairs without hesitation, carry groceries without strain, and move with confidence well into your later years. There's another factor here that's worth mentioning: timing. If you pair your protein-rich soup with some form of resistance exercise, even something as simple as a few sets of chair stands, wall push-ups, or resistance band pulls before you eat, you amplify the muscle's ability to take that protein and use it for repair and growth. Exercise opens the door for amino acids to enter muscle cells more efficiently, so when that leucine-rich protein arrives in your bloodstream, your body is ready to put it to work immediately. It's like having a construction crew already on site when the delivery truck full of building materials shows up. So when you look at your next bowl of soup, don't just see broth, vegetables, and maybe a little meat. See it as an opportunity, a way to meet a specific nutritional threshold that sends your body a powerful message: keep the muscle you have, build more where you can, and stay strong for the long haul. This small, deliberate change in how you think about soup can completely shift the trajectory of your muscle health over the next decade. And once you start doing it consistently, you'll notice something: your muscles aren't just surviving, they're adapting, they're responding, and they're giving you back the kind of physical capacity that makes everyday life not only easier, but far more enjoyable. When we talk about caring for our body's framework, what we're really talking about is preserving and supporting the structural scaffolding underneath everything: your joints, your tendons, your ligaments, and that scaffolding is made of something called collagen. Collagen isn't just any structural protein, it's the most abundant one in your body, forming a resilient, flexible network that keeps your connective tissues strong. Unfortunately, as we age or when we've stressed our joints through repetitive movements, injury, or inflammation, our natural collagen production starts to slow down. That's a path toward creaky joints, reduced mobility, and a creeping sense of stiffness we're told is just part of getting older. But it doesn't have to be that way. Here's the science you need to know: collagen synthesis. The process of your body making its own connective tissue collagen relies on two things. First, you need the raw materials, those amino acids: glycine, proline, hydroxyproline, found in gelatin or hydrolyzed collagen. And second, you need a critical cofactor: vitamin C. Vitamin C is the spark plug that activates the enzymes needed to assemble collagen into its strong, structured form. Without sufficient vitamin C, your body has all the bricks but not enough mortar to hold the wall together. Now imagine this in culinary terms. You have your flavorful broth, vegetables, maybe some protein, but your joints haven't been invited to the party. They need something more. That's where adding a modest scoop, say 10 grams of hydrolyzed collagen or gelatin into your warm soup, combined with a squeeze of lemon, a handful of bell peppers, or a sprig of parsley, becomes more than just flavor enhancement. It becomes a deliberate act of nutritional scaffolding. You're giving your body the raw building blocks of collagen precisely when it's warm and ready to be absorbed, and pairing it with vitamin C to ignite that assembly. That's synergy by design. There's a study I want you to picture, not because you need to memorize the details, but because the principle matters. Researchers had participants take gelatin with vitamin C before activity, and they found that markers of collagen synthesis in connective tissue increased. It's a real-time window into your body, saying thank you, now I can repair. Think of your daily soup as a literal blueprint for your connective tissue, sending those signals that your body is listening to each time the spoon lifts. When you fuel collagen synthesis consistently, you're investing in your mobility, your ease of movement, your future resilience. Here's an even more useful mental shift. Many people reach for bone broth expecting collagen benefits, and while bone broth can be comforting and nourishing, its collagen content is highly variable from one batch to another. You don't know how much gelatin actually made it into that broth, unless it's been standardized, and even then different brands and recipes vary widely. That's why the controlled addition of collagen powder or gelatin is powerful. It brings precision to your nutrition. You're no longer hoping, you're delivering a consistent amount every time. Let me give you another practical angle. Imagine you're working on maintaining your joints, but you go through a day of repetitive elbow movements, typing, gripping knobs, lifting cups, and by evening your forearms feel tight. What if you had a simple ritual? Pour out your soup, melt in that scoop of collagen, stir in citrus or nearby produce, and then eat it as you reflect on the day's movement. That's much more meaningful than taking a supplement. It's a sensory reminder that every joint wants better care, that connective tissue is living, repairing, responding, and that your kitchen can be where you feed your infrastructure, your body's inside architecture, one bowl at a time. And consider this: collagen supports. But sometimes we need movement to tell our body where to put its resources. That means pairing your nutrient-rich soup with a few minutes of joint-friendly movement. Ankle rolls, wrist circles, gentle hip hinges, even walking afterward, to give those tissues not only the building blocks but also the stimulus to adapt. It's not magic, it's physiology. The physical movement tells your body, this area matters, repair here, and then the collagen and vitamin C give it what it needs to do the work. Over time, this gentle, consistent approach adds up to noticeable shifts: less morning stiffness, improved shoulder rotation, knee comfort that surprises you when walking downhill. Because connective tissue adapts slowly, joints, tendons, they respond over weeks to months. But that doesn't mean it's not worth the wait. A consistent, simple lunch or dinner habit of collagen plus vitamin C, paired with light movement, sends a message that you're not willing to let the scaffolding decay silently. You're choosing to reinforce it, day by day. So when you stir that scoop of collagen into your warm soup, and add a wedge of lemon or a handful of vitamin C, rich veg, don't think of it as an afterthought. Think of it as intentional care for your structural system, paying attention to the framework that lets you walk, bend, lift, work, and live with fewer limitations. It's not flashy, it's not drastic, but it's effective. And over time, your joints will respond, your movement will feel more fluid, and you'll notice fewer aches and more edges, the edges of what your body is capable of doing, even as time marches on. And by rethinking your soup in this way, you're not just soothing your hunger, you're bolstering your body's resilience, one bowl at a time, openly investing in your mobility, your comfort, and the joy of moving freely into your future. When we talk about movement, being able to get up from a chair, climb stairs without holding the railing, or simply take a brisk walk around the block, it all comes down to how well our muscles, joints, and connective tissues work together. But here's what often gets overlooked: the health of those connective tissues, ligaments, tendons, cartilage depends heavily on one key protein, collagen. And while our bodies do produce collagen naturally, production declines as we age, leading to stiffer joints, reduced flexibility, and more aches than we'd like to admit. That's where collagen peptides come into play. Collagen peptides are essentially smaller, easily absorbed fragments of collagen protein. When you consume them, your digestive system breaks them down into amino acids and peptides, which then enter your bloodstream. These building blocks are used by your body to help repair and rebuild collagen in your connective tissues. This isn't just theory, there's growing scientific evidence showing that regular collagen peptide intake can improve joint comfort, enhance mobility, and even reduce the stiffness that makes mornings a challenge. Now, it's important to understand that collagen peptides don't go straight to your knee or shoulder and magically fix things. Instead, they provide your body with the raw materials it needs, and your body's repair systems decide where to use them based on need. This is why results are gradual. You're not going to take collagen peptides for a week and feel like you're 25 again, but give it a consistent few months, and you may start noticing subtle but real changes: less grinding in your joints, easier movement, maybe even the ability to take longer walks without discomfort. Think of it like fueling a construction crew. If they don't have the bricks, they can't rebuild the wall. Collagen peptides are those bricks, and your body is the crew. Another interesting aspect is how collagen peptides may work in synergy with light movement or resistance training. Research suggests that when you pair collagen supplementation with even modest exercise, like walking, bodyweight exercises, or resistance bands, the benefits can be amplified. That's because movement stimulates your body to remodel and strengthen the tissues under load, and when those tissues have more collagen to work with, the rebuilding process is more efficient. There's also the potential for improved recovery. If your joints feel sore after activity, collagen peptides may help reduce that lingering discomfort by supporting the repair of micro damage in the connective tissues. Over time, this can mean less hesitation to stay active, which is a key factor in maintaining muscle mass and preventing conditions like sarcopenia. It's also worth noting that collagen production in the body requires vitamin C as a cofactor. Without enough vitamin C, even the collagen peptides you consume can't be optimally utilized. That's why pairing collagen-rich foods or supplements with vitamin C sources, like citrus, bell peppers, or berries, can make a real difference in how effectively your body can use those building blocks. The form you choose matters too. Hydrolyzed collagen peptides dissolve easily in hot or cold liquids, making them an easy addition to your daily soup, coffee, or smoothie. Some people even add them to oatmeal or yogurt. The key is consistency. Sporadic use won't give your body the steady supply it needs to rebuild and maintain healthy connective tissue. There's no single magic food or supplement that's going to turn back the clock overnight, but when you understand how collagen peptides work, and you combine them with smart movement, balanced nutrition, and patience, you create the right conditions for your body to move more freely and with less pain. And that's what gives you the freedom to live the life you want, not just the one your joints will tolerate. When we talk about building strength, improving mobility, and fighting age-related decline, one of the quiet heroes in that journey is omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. They're like tiny anti-inflammatory messengers that travel through your bloodstream and help shift the body's environment from fire and breakdown to repair and adaptation. In plain English, they help ease inflammation and, at the same time, help your muscles and joints get more out of every workout you do. Let's break it down. Inflammation isn't all bad. It's a normal, healthy response when you lift weights, go for a walk, or use your body in challenging ways. But chronic, low-level inflammation, that persistent buzz that hangs around in your tissues, can dull your muscles' ability to respond, slow recovery, and even blunt strength gains. Omega-3s, especially EPA and DHA, from fish or high-quality supplements, help turn down that chronic inflammatory noise while preserving the normal healthy inflammatory signals that let your body rebuild. That means when you train, whether it's resistance bands, squats, or simple chair stands, your physiology is primed to get more benefit. The same workout can produce clearer, stronger signals to your muscles: grow, strengthen, repair. Studies in older adults show that omega-3 supplementation enhances strength gains, increases muscle protein synthesis, and improves functional performance when paired with exercise. Think of them as nature's amplifier for the workouts you do, especially when made part of your regular routine. Now, From a practical standpoint, your soup can become a daily delivery system for these benefits. Think of adding a serving of oily fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, or anchovies directly into the pot or stirred in at the end. If that's not your thing, you can add a spoon of flaxseed oil or a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil and take a high-quality fish oil capsule alongside your meal. What matters is building a habit. Consistency over time is where the magic happens. From real-world observation, I've seen people say things like, "I used to feel stiff sitting at my desk after work, and now there's a glide in my step instead." Or, "My recovery after my daily walk used to take hours, and now it's sharp and quick." These stories follow the physiology: less lingering soreness, more ease moving, stronger muscle response. And when your body responds, you do more. You walk more, lift more, push a little harder, creating a virtuous cycle of progress. Another important benefit: omega-3s support neuromuscular health. That means they help your nerves talk to your muscles more effectively. Particularly in older adults, neuromuscular communication can blip or slow, and optimizing that can translate into better coordination, improved balance, and reduced fall risk. Pair omega-3 intake with simple balance work, like standing on one leg, heel raises, or even spirited walking, and you're reinforcing both your structure and your control. Let me be clear, these are not replacement strategies. Omega-3s don't replace resistance training, or adequate protein, or collagen support. Instead, think of them as the supporting cast, the unsung allies that reduce friction, help you train more effectively, recover more smoothly, and ultimately move more freely. When inflammation is dialed down, the workouts you do pay off faster, and those gains stack faster into months and years of better strength and mobility. Regarding dosage, most studies in aging populations use about 1 to 3 grams of combined EPA and DHA per day as part of their protocols. If you're getting oily fish multiple times a week, you might get there naturally. Supplement-wise, aim for a high-quality product, verified for purity and potency. As always, people on blood thinners or with specific health conditions should check with their clinician first, but for most it's safe and supportive. Now, here's a practical daily ritual. Imagine enjoying your nutrient-rich, collagen-supported soup, maybe after a short walk or a simple bodyweight workout, and you already have oily fish in the pot or a capsule alongside. The meal isn't just fueling your muscles, it's calming the internal environment, allowing that movement to benefit you more fully. Inflammation doesn't disappear overnight, but day after day, you'll notice your movements feel smoother, you stand taller, pain becomes less of a factor, and recovery becomes more manageable. The broader message here is that aging doesn't have to mean slow decline. You can actively sculpt a physiology that responds, adapts, and improves. Omega-3s aren't a standalone cure, they're part of a symphony of strategies: protein, collagen, movement, and anti-inflammatory support. When orchestrated together, they deliver resilience that shows up when you get up, go down the stairs, pick up a grandchild, or simply shuffle through your day without that nagging friction. By integrating omega-3s into your daily routine, especially through something as simple and habitual as your soup, you're not just eating, you're tuning your body for repair, adaptation, and agility. Over time, that tuning will translate into a steadier step, a stronger hold, and more of the kind of active, uninterrupted life you want to live. Creatine is one of the most researched and effective compounds for improving muscular strength, energy, and endurance. Yet many people still think of it only as a supplement for bodybuilders or athletes. In reality, creatine can be just as beneficial for everyday life, especially as we get older, because it works directly at the cellular level to help your body produce quick, usable energy. Inside your muscle cells, creatine acts like a rechargeable battery. It stores high-energy phosphate groups in the form of phosphocreatine, which can rapidly regenerate ATP, the primary energy currency of your cells. This means that whether you're carrying groceries, climbing stairs, or lifting a suitcase, your muscles can respond with greater power and less fatigue. And here's the interesting part: creatine isn't just for your muscles. Your brain also uses ATP for cognitive tasks, so adequate creatine levels may improve mental sharpness and reduce the feeling of mental fatigue, particularly during stressful or demanding situations. In daily life, even simple activities like bending to tie your shoes or walking quickly to catch a bus require rapid bursts of energy from your muscles. Without sufficient phosphocreatine reserves, those bursts can feel draining, leaving you short of breath or with that heavy, tired feeling in your legs. By supplementing with creatine, you give your muscles the ability to regenerate energy more efficiently, allowing you to move with more strength and confidence. This becomes especially important after the age of 40, when natural muscle mass and energy levels tend to decline. Multiple clinical studies show that creatine can help maintain and even rebuild muscle fibers in older adults, particularly when combined with resistance training. But the benefits don't end with strength. Creatine has also been linked to better balance, reduced risk of falls, and improved mobility, all of which are essential for maintaining independence as you age. From a physiological perspective, creatine helps buffer your muscles against fatigue by preventing excessive accumulation of hydrogen ions during high-intensity activity. This buffering effect reduces the burn you feel in your muscles during exertion, meaning you can perform more repetitions or sustain activity for longer before tiring. That's why creatine is not just for lifting heavy weights. It can make a noticeable difference in tasks like carrying laundry up the stairs, playing with your grandchildren, or spending a day walking around on vacation without feeling exhausted by the afternoon. It's about creating a baseline of energy and resilience that enhances your quality of life. Beyond the muscles and brain, there's emerging evidence that creatine supports bone health by improving the mechanical loading capacity of the muscles attached to those bones. Stronger muscles pull more effectively on bones during movement, stimulating them to stay dense and healthy. This is particularly important for preventing osteoporosis-related fractures later in life. And since creatine works synergistically with protein intake, ensuring you're consuming enough dietary protein will maximize its benefits. Foods like red meat, poultry, and fish naturally contain creatine, but getting therapeutic levels often requires supplementation, especially for older adults or those on plant-based diets. When you think about creatine, think of it not as a performance enhancer in the athletic sense, but as an energy insurance policy for your muscles and mind. Every time you get up from a chair with ease, walk briskly without feeling winded, or carry a heavy bag without strain, you're experiencing the kind of cellular support creatine provides. It's about giving your body the tools it needs to perform at its best, not just in the gym, but in the small but meaningful movements that make up daily living. The more efficiently your muscles can produce energy, the more freedom and vitality you'll feel in everyday life. And that is the true power of creatine. Turmeric is more than just a vibrant golden spice that adds depth and warmth to our meals. It's a concentrated source of compounds that work on a cellular level to support joint health and overall vitality. One of its most notable active components is curcumin, which has been extensively studied for its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. When we think about inflammation, many people only picture swelling or redness after an injury, but at the cellular level, inflammation can also be silent and chronic. This kind of low-grade inflammation persisting for months or even years is a major contributor to joint discomfort, stiffness, and reduced mobility, especially as we age. Curcumin helps modulate this process by interacting with molecular pathways that regulate inflammatory responses, almost like turning down the volume on an overactive alarm system that's been blaring inside the body for too long. Interestingly, curcumin doesn't just address inflammation, it supports the structural environment of the joints themselves. Healthy joints require strong cartilage, optimal fluid balance, and low oxidative stress. When oxidative stress builds up, it can weaken the collagen in cartilage, making joints more vulnerable to wear and tear. The antioxidant power of curcumin helps neutralize these free radicals before they can cause damage, effectively preserving joint integrity. This means that incorporating turmeric into your diet isn't just about easing discomfort, it's about protecting the joint tissues for years to come. Pairing turmeric with black pepper is a small but powerful tweak that can greatly enhance curcumin absorption, thanks to piperin, a compound in pepper that improves its bioavailability. Without this combination, much of the curcumin passes through the digestive system without being fully absorbed into the bloodstream. What's equally fascinating is how turmeric ties into the body's recovery process after physical activity. When we engage in exercise, whether it's a long walk, strength training, or simply climbing stairs, muscles and connective tissues experience microtears, which are part of the normal adaptation process. But these small injuries trigger localized inflammation, and if that inflammation lingers too long, it can slow recovery and make movement less comfortable. By incorporating turmeric into meals, whether through curries, soups, smoothies, or even golden milk, we can help keep that inflammation in check, allowing the body to repair more efficiently. This not only means less stiffness and soreness after activity, but also the ability to stay more consistent with movement routines, something critical for maintaining health and independence later in life. There's also a neurological angle here. Chronic joint pain can have a profound impact on the brain, influencing mood, motivation, and even sleep quality. Discomfort signals sent from the joints to the nervous system can lead to a constant state of low-level stress, which in turn can alter cortisol patterns and immune function. By reducing the root inflammation in the joints, turmeric indirectly supports more balanced nervous system activity. People often report better sleep, improved focus, and a greater sense of well-being when their joint discomfort is reduced. And while turmeric isn't a magic bullet, it's a simple, natural addition that can contribute to that shift. It's worth noting that while turmeric as a whole food is valuable, the curcumin content in the spice alone is relatively low, so for those with significant joint issues, concentrated curcumin supplements, especially those combined with piperin or formulated for enhanced absorption, can offer more noticeable results. But starting with food is always a sustainable and enjoyable approach. Adding turmeric to roasted vegetables, blending it into dressings, or mixing it into morning oatmeal not only supports joint health, but also enhances the sensory experience of eating with its earthy, slightly bitter and aromatic flavor profile. And there's something almost poetic about it, a single root grown in the soil, capable of delivering both nourishment and comfort, calming the small fires of inflammation, and making daily movement more enjoyable. It's a reminder that sometimes, the bridge between flavor and function is far shorter than we imagine, and that a simple choice in the kitchen can ripple outward into every step we take. A bowl of soup. It may seem simple, but starting today, it can become your daily therapy. When you add protein, your muscles get the message, build me, strengthen me. When you mix in collagen and vitamin C, your joints breathe a sigh of relief and say, we're getting stronger again. When you add omega-3s and creatine, every step and every movement feels lighter and more confident. And when you season with turmeric, you're not just adding flavor, you're adding a touch of healing. Now think about this. If one bowl of soup can make your tomorrow stronger, why not take that first step today? This isn't just a recipe, it's a promise to your body, to your life, and to your future. Because true wealth is being able to live life on your own terms.